Okay.
You want it on
recording.
you?
Yes. Just don't say any swear words.
Okay.
Okay. So thanks for having us out. I wanted to go over a couple of quick disclaimers. Home inspections are visual and accessible, so if I can see it, I can tell you about it. I can't look through walls or floors. Home inspections are not code inspections. Building code changes every year, so we focus on general construction and safety. Home inspections are a snapshot of the way the home looks like today. Have you talked about final walkthrough?
No, we haven't talked about it yet.
Okay, so we would recommend coming back either, do you like the day of? Or
I do the day of.
The day,
yeah.
day of closing. Come here first and look and make sure everything is good. So we're going to look for three things. One, any outside environmental damage. Was there a hailstorm? Somebody broke a window? Something like that. The second is coming inside after they move all their stuff out, making sure that there was not anything behind the walls that we missed. And then the third thing is just making sure anything you negotiate is done. Because if you don't get it done before closing, it's probably not going to get done.
We'll do that the day, like on the way to the title company. We'll just make sure the house is in the same condition as it is today.
The next thing is today's the best day to ask questions because we're here. Pictures are fantastic, but it's not the same as looking at it with your own eyes. So would encourage you to ask questions if you have them today. If you don't, that's okay. We don't have a limit on questions. You can always call, text, or email, and we'll answer any questions for you. And then last, it's usually easiest to look at pictures. But if you see a picture and you say, I want to go look at that, stop me and we'll go look at it. Because we want you to be happy with this house. So.
Is the screen supposed to be black? It went away.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, just making sure.
You're good. Saving power. So here's your beautiful new home. This is just a note. You have a retaining wall on the side of your house. So I would encourage you once a year, walk around the house. Just take care of any maintenance or minor repairs. But also look at the retaining wall. As long as it looks good, it's usually good. But if it starts falling over or leaning or the boards start to deteriorate, it's a good time to call someone. Call Sarah, call me. We're more than happy to help you find the right person to help. There's a spot you can see just some of the paint starting to, they missed a spot.
Is there paint in the attic?
Yes.
The
Yeah.
very side?
Yes, over
Yeah.
there.
There's touch-up paint in the attic, so you can just go in and paint it. It's just cosmetic.
There's a few spots like that where there's just little gaps in the mortar. So we'd recommend going back and sealing those up. Either with more mortar or with caulk or liquid cement. There's a little bit of a crack on the corner at the front. It's not a big deal. It's cosmetic. So if you are fine with it the way it is, be fine. If you think it looks ugly, you can have someone fix it. So it's called the lintel. It's a metal plate on top of the window. The paint is starting to wear a little bit and they're starting to rust. So I'd go back and have those sanded and repaint them so that way they stay in good shape. So this is a note. Would recommend extending your gutters away from the house about 1 to 2 meters. And then that way you're taking all the water and moving it away from the house. You're not putting it right next to the foundation where it can cause damage.
See? I was smart, right?
And also just a note, some of the trees are close to the home. Most of the time builders use dwarf trees. They won't get very much bigger than that. But if they start to get very large, I would look at removing them so the roots don't get underneath the foundation. It's not a big deal yet, but some of those beams out front starting to crack a little bit, so I'd keep an eye on them. Just make sure they stay in good shape. A little bit, it's in the entryway, just a little bit of damage right there. Keep it painted, keep an eye on it. I don't think you need to replace it today, but just something to keep an eye on.
But all those, that's the association?
No, that's
No,
all
that's
on.
ours?
Yep,
Okay.
that's on you. Yep.
a little bit, kind of on the corner of the garage
Just
by the
chipped
entryway.
off.
Yeah. And then just a little bit of caulking right there, so that way the house is sealed up. You don't have any water or insects get inside. And then a little bit of cracked brick. It's not a big deal. Just go back and repoint or reseal it. And that way you keep all the water and the bugs out. And then some of the flashing has come loose, so I would look at having a roofer come out and repairing that. That way water doesn't get inside your home. Around the garage door, it's just time. The caulk has worn out, so recaulking around the garage door, and then you're starting to get a little bit of rust on that metal plate on the top right there, so just going back and sanding it and repainting it. This is your gas meter that's on the side of the house, and then the electric panel also. This is your air conditioner. It's approximately 5 years old. It's new. It's the same one that came with the house. It came on and it worked well today, but I would recommend having them serviced every year just to keep them in good condition. And then on average, an air conditioner lasts 10 to 15 years and a furnace lasts 15 to 20. This is the nameplate that tells you about it, what year it was made, how large it is. So one of the things when you're walking around your home once a year to look for, anytime you have a hole in the wall, it can be where the AC lines go through, it can be a door or window. Just make sure it's sealed up well with caulk. This one could use a little bit of caulk. The one for the gas line looks good, but in a few years it'll need a little bit of caulk just to keep it sealed up. You have so it causes an expansion gap. As a part of your house, it's a good thing, but there's a few spots where the mortar is starting to deteriorate and a few spots where some of the caulk is starting to deteriorate as it gets older. So I'd come back and just touch up all that work. This is the sewer clean out. So if anything gets stuck in the sewer line, that's where they'll go in.
If you ever hear that gurgling or water ever comes out of it, call a plumber.
This is a note. Your backyard, it's pretty high and it slopes toward the house. So I'm gonna, whenever we have a good rainstorm, I'm gonna sit on the back porch where it's dry and just watch and see how the water flows. If the water flows around the house, that's good. If it goes straight towards the house, it's time to call someone. I wouldn't spend any money today, but I would go ahead and keep an eye on that. And then also pay attention if a day, 3 days, a week after the rain has come, if it's still really wet in the backyard, but it's dry in the front yard, you might also have drainage problems in the back.
We kind of talked about that. You could do like a French drain or something if you had to.
Now we're up on the roof. So this is one of the vents. It's been hit by hail. Not enough that I'm worried about. We didn't see any hail damage on the shingles, but there has been a little bit of hail, but nothing to worry about. There's a few nails on top of the roof. We would recommend going back and caulking just to keep them in good shape so they don't rust out. And then this is one of your plumbing vents. So you can see it's more like a bowl that holds water. We don't want that because if the water sits there, eventually it'll come through. We want it to look like a bubble like this so that the water will roll off the sides. So I would look at having a roofer come back and replace that or fix it. There's a couple spots here and here just where a piece of shingle got pulled off. The roof still looks watertight, still looks to be in good shape, but there's a little bit of damage because it's about 5 years old now. Now we're inside. This is just a picture showing that the stove is working. Showing that you've got access underneath the tub if you need it.
That's where you can install that other one if you want.
Oh yeah, so you could install a jet tub if you want. In the master bathroom, there's a few spots where either they didn't get it sealed up originally or the caulk or grout is starting to deteriorate a little bit. So would recommend getting that sealed up. Please don't think buckets of water getting behind the walls, just a little bit at a time, but a little bit of water at a time over 3 or 5 years can cause problems. You've got some cracked tile in the laundry room.
Is there any tile in the attic? Did you see?
Do you remember? I saw
Okay.
paint and carpet. I didn't
Okay.
notice any tile.
Okay.
Um,
That's what I was telling you. that the
There
water
is just
comes
a
out.
different attachment. And I can show you how to use it. There's a button, and if you hit the button, then it comes out of the shower head. The tile's not cracked, but the grout right there on both sides of the toilet and the hall bathroom is a little bit cracked. And just a few spots around the hall, the tub in the hall bathroom. So we call it normal wear and tear. So you can see there's a little bit of chip paint by some of the windows. One of the outlets, it's not on the wall real well. A couple of outlets that are not on the wall real well. It's in the pantry, just there and then there. A little bit of cosmetic damage. The house is not falling over, it's still in good shape, just needs a little bit of love.
Someone nicked it.
You can actually see it right up there. Some of the drywall tape is starting to come loose a little bit. What do you think? 5-year-old house, is it more user install error as opposed to?
Probably install error. It's an easy fix. The nature of your texture wouldn't make it hard to match either.
This is a note that this home has a security system. If you would like a security system, Sarah knows some great people that can help you out. If you don't want a security system, you don't have to have one. This is your water heater. It's original to the house, so it's about halfway through its life expectancy. They typically last about 10 years. Oh, this is a picture. So you do have a shutoff valve there, which is good. We did mark it as inaccessible because it's pretty high up. It's hard to reach. So you'd probably need a ladder. You might be able to get it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know. We got height right here.
There's the nameplate, which tells you a little bit about it. But really, and then the other thing was, so you're an adult and you can do whatever you want. The water temperature was about 122 degrees. Anything 120 or hotter is considered scalding. So if you like hot showers, take hot showers. That rule is meant more for little kids that can't adjust the temperature. So if you're happy, be happy. This is your electric panel. They're missing a couple screws. Obviously those 4 screws are still holding it up, but as the licensed home inspector, I'm supposed to tell you they're missing 2 screws. This is what it looks like on the inside. Overall, looks really good. There wasn't anything that we noted that was worth mentioning. So this is now we're up in the attic. So you've got a couple of junction boxes right here. Would recommend just putting a cover on them, and that way if anything happens, it stays in that junction box. And then it's kind of hard to tell, but one of the beams, it looks like someone took a chunk out of it. There's just a piece missing from it. So that being said, they very much over-engineer homes so that please don't tear out beams just because you can, but they put more in there than are needed, just in case something happens. So I would keep an eye on it. As long as it stays like this, it's probably okay. If it starts cracking or breaking, they can do what's called putting a sister board on there. So if you have the original board, you put a new one on, you screw it together, and then it reinforces that board so that it's very strong. This is your furnace up in the attic. It's original to the home. There's the nameplate. It tells you a little bit about it. So it looks, can you see the water stains right there? That's a little bit different color. It looks like in the past there was a leak. So what we recommend is putting a sensor on there that will detect if there's a leak, and it will automatically turn off the unit. It's good because it will stop the leak. It's bad because it usually goes off when it's very hot outside. So, but it's a good thing to have. Just some of the extra paint and materials up in the attic. I don't know, Sarah, is it usually pretty easy to ask for these is the buyer.
Yeah, they'll stay right there. They won't
it's,
take them.
it's not enough to do a new house. So most